Hi, Vickie Crystal, and I'm coming forward for my mom. And it's been a week since she passed, and this is actually my second mom. I have two moms, my biological mom and my second mom, and I was raised by both for a short amount of time in their life, but they've always been in my life. And I want to bring forward some stuff that she brought forward to me, and I want to bring forward some things that I discovered about grief and um, and what it does to your body. I haven't felt that type of grief in a very, very long time. Wait, I got things going on here. It's like I feel her, like she's playing with my hair. So, thank you, Mom. So, thank you. So, when the grieving hit me, I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop it. It was in my whole cellness of my whole body. And it was like every cell of me was grieving, and it was. And so I allowed my experience to cry and go through the experience. And that's why it's so, you have to go through grieving. Your body has to go through grieving. And what it brought forward for me, though, was what I discovered about it is that as as we pass on the other side, you see a vision of your life. You go through your life journey. Well, that actually happens when somebody passes. You go through a life journey of them, and it brings forward a lot of memories. Well, in the memories that were coming up with me, um, I felt them in different parts of my body, like rise within myself, and I realized that that was dying off to a piece of her, like her living being, like disconnected from my gripped life. Now we reconnected in a different way, and she's with me in a different way. And so, what it showed me, how you're going through the grieving, and all of this is surfacing, all these memories, all these thoughts, all these ideas that you went through with this person. Well, what I discovered is I didn't have any traumas. I never had any traumas, and I had a lot with her, but none of that surfaced. So what that showed me is that's no longer part of me. I've healed that part of that. And I just was grasping into all these beautiful memories. And then it made me realize that we too go through a life journey when someone passes. You go through that yourself. And then there's a disconnection from your physical grid into your etheric grid, is the word that they're bringing forward. It's like your etheric grid. And so now I'm working with my mom differently. Now she's part of one of my guides. My mother, this would be the mother that brought faith to me. She was very into church, very into God, very into Jesus, very into the Lord. That was very part of her whole journey. It was always a part of it. She brought faith into my life that way. I felt it there when I went to church. And so, but that's also where I had my disturbance, because I couldn't see how it could be so restricted and hard and so many rules, and yeah, it just felt suffocating to me. So it didn't really resonate with me on some level. So there was conflict with me and my mother. Well, when I want to say self-discovery of myself, and I discovered who I truly am on the inside, well, that went against all my mom's beliefs. So she just like really disconnected from me because of that. I was weird to her now, which is great, And so we kind of disconnected. Then she got stage 4 cancer in June, and she's and I had contacted her then. And then when in September, in the beginning of September, her cancer had went down to a stage 1, and she was telling me that the Lord had healed her, and I felt that through my whole core. And then what happened is she got sick and she stood up and she fainted and had a massive heart attack. Now her body was alive here for 1 week. And through that discovery, I wanted to see my body. And because of the situation with what's going on in the world, I could not have those last moments. And now I'm so grateful that I didn't remember my mom that way. So it's really taken me through the whole process. And it was amazing too, because when my sister drowned, her body was here too. It took a week before they found her body in the water. So I felt such a connection to why the bodies are being left here, even though, they had passed over. So, and I don't got to figure out any of it. It's just connection. It's just showing me connection. So, um, when the hard thing is with grief, the one thing that I really recognize with grief, it pulls you into the now. It pulls you so clearly into the now, you can't hold on to time. You have no presence of any type of time. You can't even hardly grasp it. And even those moments that you do grasp time, they're just so, you could just feel them. I just want to say there's a feeling that you could feel differently when you're holding time. I really recognize that. So as I was allowing my body to go through the grieving process and allowing this death to take part of me and allowing the new to come forward, my mom started coming forward to me. And so I asked her some questions. So one of the first questions I asked her is, does she still feel her body? And she said yes. And she said she feels it light. It still feels like it's around her, but it feels really, really light. And she said when she passed, it was like taking a breath. It was so gentle and easy. She just was there. You know what I mean? And so, which is here. And so, and she told me that Jesus was walking with her and the Lord. And I was like, okay. So a couple days later, I'm communicating with her again. And I'm asking her, do you still believe like you believed when you were here? And she said, I did until I looked through your eyes. I got chills all over my body. I got them right now. And that made me recognize when she truly looked through my eyes, she got to witness my world. And it was so beautiful to me in every way, in every way, in every way, in every way, how connected we truly are. When we're living life, we still carry it into, after we transcend life, you still carry that for a while until you recognize through somebody, through something, a different way. And then those layers are like, let go of yourself. And you see your light purer. And that's what I've been noticing with my mom, is that I don't feel that, and I didn't feel that belief system. As soon as she passed, I felt like that, diminished. Yet her consciousness is still holding that consciousness of her physical plane because she just passed. So as I'm tapping into her more, I'm noticing that her consciousness is more clear, it just feels clear. That's the only word that I can say. It just feels like more clear. So with this, it was so beautiful because now it's like my mom is right by my side, helping me and guiding me and helping me to get through this time of process of losing from the physical into the non-physical. So I'm very grateful. Oh, and another thing she told me too is, and because we forget on our journey, because we're so into that tunnel vision that you're just not paying attention to it, something that you are. Well, and I know this about me, and when spirit passes over, moves along, they don't hit that light. That's the one thing I asked my mom too. Did a light open? And she goes, yes, she instantly passed. Well, a lot of times, because of belief systems, they won't go to that light, so they kind of just stay where they're at. And some would call this the ghost state. And they're kind of like in between dimensions. So people of high vibrational light, we pass them over. And so she goes, you got to pass a lot of people over. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot. And usually I get so many signs in my body that I have all these beings that I got to pass over. And I wasn't really feeling that. I was so concentrated on what was going on with my mom. I had missed this part only for a couple weeks. So it was beautiful. So, um, so I said, okay, I pass all these people over. And I just felt the space clear. And my mom said, remember, do this all the time. It is part of you. So, what I did, so it's something that I don't got to focus on, is that anytime, unless there's a message that is of high vibrational, that needs to get forward, that when anybody sees my light, they can instantly pass over. The guides will guide them home. So, yes, we're just setting up our own creation. So, even though the process, you fear going through grief, allow yourself to. It showed me so many things. So many things. And I'm only hitting on the pinpoints because it's like that's what I need to talk about right now. So, ice and love. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Ice and love. May you all have a beautiful, beautiful